As with most forms of media when they get popular, video games become this sort of money generator for big companies. There is such a huge market out there that will 100% buy the new Pokémon, Call of Duty or FIFA game whenever it comes out. And more power to them. If they like the game, then that's fantastic. But companies fully understand how much profit there is to make out of games. Even smaller indie games have a chance of gaining traction and creating millionaires out of the blue. This has obviously been pushed more and more to the point where if there is any aspect that could be monetized, then it's monetized. Don't bother watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners because we're already living in a dystopia, my friends. One of the more recent trends in video games is undeniably the rise of the Battle Pass. These will vary from game to game, but a Battle Pass is something that you usually buy with real money in a game. You then have to earn experience by playing the game to level up your Battle Pass and earn the rewards on it. These can vary from emotes to skins to profile pictures, and spoiler alert, I don't like these at all. One of the first implementations of a Battle Pass system was back in 2013 by Valve with Dota 2. Maybe this is just the Valve fan inside of me, but I'm not too against this. This pass was during the 2013 World Championships, and a quarter of the money made went towards the prize pool for the tournament, making it a more interesting and exciting thing to watch for all players. I did some searching and it turned out to only be around £6, so honestly not too bad, especially considering part of it went towards supporting the pro scene. However, later in 2018, this sort of began to stretch out into the Dota Plus system, which is essentially a Battle Pass monthly subscription with quite a few more things thrown in. I haven't played much of Dota 2, so I won't comment much, but this was definitely the start of the whole Battle Pass craze. During this time, Valve also added a campaign pass to TF2 in 2015 as a special event. But now, onto the main culprit. In 2018, Fortnite's success led them to adopt the season system. Each season would last for a few months, and would also introduce new cosmetics and stuff to buy. During its second season, however, the first official Battle Pass was created, to capitalise on the quickly expanding player base, and oh man, this thing sold. It was estimated that during its third season, Fortnite sold 5 million Battle Passes, which generated $50 million in a single day. Very soon after, it was estimated that Epic was making hundreds of millions of dollars per month. So naturally, game companies all wanted a piece of this pie, this expensive, money-generating, cosmetic pie. Eventually, a ton of games decided to create some sort of Battle Pass system to make as much money as to enhance the gaming experience, of course. Call of Duty, Halo Infinite, PUBG, Valorant, hell, even mobile games are getting this shoehorned in. I didn't even realise Clash of Clans was still being played, let alone using a Battle Pass system. But how does this actually affect gaming in general? Well, it's forcing a huge change in the way monetization works in video games, and probably the way it will work in the future, leading to players either having to spend much more money than they usually would have, or generally missing out on content. There have been a few ways that games have turned a profit in the past. The obvious one was to charge for the actual game. Back when arcades weren't few and far between, and actually had arcade games in them, you'd have to pay to play until you ran out of lives. And when these game systems came to households, you'd have to buy the console and each game cartridge separately. This was the norm for a while, but eventually computers and mobile phones got into the free-to-play games market, which was generally supported by ads and the option to buy an ad-free version. Now, at a similar time, the free-to-play model would also go down a different route, that route being skins. Play to your heart's content, but eventually everybody falls victim to what I like to call, ooh look, shiny new skin, here's my wallet. And just like that, the free-to-play game has costed you hundreds. This was League of Legends for me. Every champion and rune was purchasable through the currency that you'd earn after each game. But if you really couldn't wait, you could tap in the funny little numbers on your bank card and bada bing bada boom, depression. Skins were what really funded the game though. A new splash art, in-game design, sometimes even voice lines or animations. It was honestly hard to not want a skin for your favourite character. Either you could buy a skin and get exactly what you want, or you could go down the loot box route, which is what a lot of games opted for and had split the gaming community in half a little bit. While some people hated the RNG aspect, other people loved that you could earn them for free. I honestly liked them. This system of buying a skin you want or opening loot boxes seemed pretty good to me. It appeased everybody. So why are they being phased out entirely? Gambling. In many Asian countries, there has been a lot of discourse over the regulation of loot boxes, and this has made its way over to Western countries too. In my honest opinion, this is one of those half fixes where instead of coming up with solutions to the problem, It's terrified gaming companies into ditching them entirely, like Overwatch 2, and moving to the pay pig that is the Battle Pass. Overwatch had what, to me, felt like a pretty decent monetization system. You'd pay for the base game and everybody would be on the same playing field. If you want a skin, you had 3 main options: buy it with money, earn in-game currency through playing games to buy it, or earn/buy loot boxes. Never once have I actually known a human being to purchase a loot box other than for a YouTube unboxing. Why would you? They're earnable, and if you actually wanted something you could easily just buy it from the shop instead. Then Overwatch 2 comes along and throws the entire system in the bin, copies and pastes Fortnite system, and watches as the world burns. I hate this system. Nothing is earnable anymore, loot boxes are gone, you have to pay for a new battle pass each season, which, by the way, will cost you more than purchasing Overwatch 1's base game would have cost after a couple of seasons. And the only currency you can earn is through these shitty missions which give you like a penny for working an 8-hour shift. The actual skins are a ridiculous price in themselves, and give you much less than the skins in the other games would do. None of this feels good, and you know what's worse? Future heroes are getting locked into the Battle Pass, meaning you either have to earn them after God knows how long on the free version, or you have to pay real money somewhere down the line. How can a competitive game with a relatively small roster of heroes that many people bought for full price a few years ago actually run like this? Even if you buy the Battle Pass, you're still having to fucking earn your rewards. Who wins here? Not me, not you, Blizzard. Sadly, I can't really blame people for buying it. If your favourite character has unlockables on there, then you won't want to miss out. The way it's going, I can only see this getting more and more standardised. Do I think loot boxes were perfect? No. At the end of the day, the gambling aspect was holding it down. But couldn't they have just kept some form of free loot box in the game? One that might take twice as long to get or something. Players are still going to buy into the Battle Pass anyway, so why not? Or maybe have unique incentives to buy the Battle Pass that don't screw up other players. Maybe some exclusive skins, emotes, banners, while keeping everything else earnable. Overall, Battle Passes have really started to take over how monetization works in video games. Players are spending more, grinding more, and getting less. And players that don't want to be buying into these passes get their own little unique ways to stay unhappy with the game. There is a lot of this FOMO culture in the gaming space, where if you don't have something that other players have, then you're apparently worth less. Sometimes this even leads to unfair or unbalanced games because one team has a player with a new hero while the other team doesn't. But we've seen change before. It's inevitable. It has to be, otherwise we'd still have arcade machines kicking about. So it's honestly pretty likely that we'll see something change again in the future. This time, maybe it'll be from the community backlash, because believe me, there is a lot of backlash going on right now. Until then though, don't mind me. I'm just gonna grind for an aggressively mediocre Overwatch skin for over 30 weeks.